Listening, fill in the blanks.
Let's start.
The 16th and 17th centuries saw two great pioneers of modern science, Gilbert and Galileo. Their eminent findings made a big impact. Gilbert was the accredited father of the science of electricity and magnetism, the first modern scientist, a physician at the court of Elizabeth and an Englishman of learning. Before him, the things known about electricity and magnetism was what the ancients knew, and nothing more than that. Lodestone had magnetic properties, and when amber and jet were rubbed, it would attract bits of paper or other substances of small specific gravity. However, he wasn't given the recognition he deserves.
Ultimately, the beliefs of magnetism were also twisted with superstitions, like rubbing garlic on lodestone can remove its magnetism. Even sailors believed the smell of garlic would even interfere with the action of the compass, which is why the steerers were forbidden to eat it near a ship's compass. Gilbert also found that metals can be magnetized by rubbing materials such as plastic, fur, etc. on them. He named the magnets North and South Pole. Depending on its polarity, magnets can attract or repel. In addition, however, a magnet always attracts an ordinary iron, though he started to study the relationship between electricity and magnetism.
In his revolutionary research methods, he used experiments instead of reasoning and pure logic, like the ancient Greek philosophers did. It was new in the scientific investigation. Scientific experiments were not in fashion till then. Because of this scientific attitude and his contribution to the field of magnetism, the unit of magnetomotive force, also known as magnetic potential, was named Gilbert in his honor. He carefully approached it, observed and experimented it rather than the authoritative or deductive philosophy of others, that had laid the very foundation for modern science.
There is no doubt that many challenges need to be taken care of, but, through targeted and robust research, these problems can be solved in the next 10 years. In the coming years, mobility will change in many ways and will be associated with so many other technological developments, such as telepresence and virtual reality, which is difficult to make proper predictions. However, one thing is clear: change is for sure, and the flexibility to respond to this will be essential for those involved in manufacturing the vehicles that will implement future mobility.
Researchers from the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, in Geneva sent the neutrinos hurtling through an underground corridor toward their colleagues at the Oscillation Project, with emulsion tracing apparatus, OPERA, team 730 kilometers away in Gran Sasso, Italy. The neutrinos arrived promptly, so promptly, in fact, that they triggered what scientists are calling the unthinkable, that everything they have learnt, known or taught stemming from the last 100 years of the physics discipline, may need to be reconsidered.
In Britain, there is a broadly similar belief in the existence of innate talent, but also an egalitarian sentiment which makes people queasy about the idea of investing resources in grooming intelligence. Teachers are often opposed to separate provision for the best-performing children, saying any extra help should go to stragglers. In 2002, in a bid to help the able while leaving intact the ban on most selection by ability in state schools, the government set up the National Academy for Gifted and Talented Youth. This outfit runs summer schools and master classes for children nominated by their schools. To date, though, only 7 in 10 secondary schools have nominated even a single child. Last year, all schools were told they must supply the names of their top 10%.
It appears that experimental, situational, and cultural factors are even more powerful in shaping wisdom than previously imagined, says Associate Professor Igor Grossman of the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. Recent empirical findings from cognitive, developmental, social, and personality psychology cumulatively suggest that people's ability to reason wisely varies dramatically across experiential and situational contexts. Understanding the role of such contextual factors offers unique insights into understanding wisdom in daily life, as well as how it can be enhanced and taught.
Statistics give little clue as to which system is best. The performance of the most able is heavily affected by factors other than state provision. Most state education in Britain is nominally non-selective, but middle-class parents try to live near the best schools. Ambitious Japanese parents have made private, out-of-school tuition a thriving business. And Scandinavia's egalitarianism might work less well in places with more diverse populations and less competent teachers. For what it's worth, the data suggest that some countries, like Japan and Finland, see table, can eschew selection and still thrive. But that does not mean that any country can ditch selection and do as well.
Open your eyes and see water, and it is difficult to see much more than a murky, bleary green color. Sounds, too, are garbled and difficult to comprehend. Without specialized equipment, humans would be lost in these deep-sea habitats. So how do fish make it seem so easy? Much of this is due to a biological phenomenon known as electroreception, the ability to perceive and act upon electrical stimuli, as part of the overall senses. This ability is only found in aquatic or amphibious species, because water is an efficient conductor of electricity.